Welcome to Verification Academy. I'm Tom Fitzpatrick, Verification Evangelist at Mentor Graphics. You might know me from UVM here on Verification Academy. With me today is Joe Hupcey, our Product Manager for Formal. How you doing, Joe?
Good, Tom. Thanks for inviting me.
My pleasure. So there's a lot of really exciting stuff going on about Formal here. Why don't you tell us about what's going on here at the conference?
Certainly. Well, in the conference itself, there are several papers, there are several posters on both formal technology and the related technology of clock domain crossing verification on CDC. And of course, in the Mentor booth, we have an extensive demo series available for people to ask questions of our product experts.
That's great. And so the big thing really is our tutorial. But why don't you tell us a little bit more about what's going on in that?
Absolutely. So the tutorial is addressing one of the most important topics, one of the most important challenges customers have is they want to reach verification closure faster. They want to reach sign-off faster, and they want to do it with as minimal risk as they can, right? So they don't want to cut corners. It's important to make sure that all the state space is examined. And so what we're showing in the tutorial is how you can leverage the power of Formal to exhaustively verify that you have covered all of your state space. And more specifically, when you put it in the context of code coverage, how you can make sure that certain areas of dead code are in fact, they're okay to be dead, right? There's some configuration that you're not using for that particular IP and it's okay to turn that off. But there are other cases where the code is, it's a mystery why the code isn't being traversed in that area, and this tool and the methodology helps you identify that and do that in an automated fashion. And I tell you, the real challenge here, it's easy to do for small IPs, but customers literally have tens of thousands of areas of dead code that they have to explain one way or another. And what we're showing in this tutorial is how you can use formal methodologies and formal tools, specifically with an app called CoverCheck, that allows people to identify that exhaustively.
That's great, and that fits in with our whole verification management structure as well, right?
Absolutely. So as you go through the process of identifying the different dead code areas and either excluding them because they're okay, they're understood why they're dead, or excluding them or identifying them as a bug, this data can be exported into our verification management platform via the industry standard UCDB. So that way you can keep track of the process, and really in one sense it's not immediately obvious, but you can use the right tool for the job because this data can be compared with the simulation data in parallel. So that way users can compare the results from the UVM test bench, they can compare the results they're getting from Formal and really leverage the best technology to reach closure faster. And as I said earlier, do it with less risk because you have the visibility into what's going on in your RTL.
Wow, that's really great. So we're really fulfilling the promise of this whole bringing Formal and simulation together that's been talked about in the industry at conferences like DVCon for years, but now we actually have it.
It's right here on the show floor. It's in the tutorial, and you'll see it on Verification Academy as well.
That's great. And so I assume there's going to be some more formal stuff coming in the Academy over the next weeks and months?
Absolutely. Weeks, months, throughout the year, we're going to be adding more content to Verification Academy on Formal itself, on the classic property checking and model checking that people think of, as well as the different Formal applications that you can leverage to get the power of Formal without just having the very basics understanding of Formal.
Well, that's great, Joe. Thanks a lot for sharing that with us.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.